Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to Vanguard Week here in the studio. Today in this video I would like to talk about Basilian. What I thought today was to do a couple of paint jobs around the studio and then talk a little bit about this faction Basilian. And I'm referring specifically to the models that you get in this starter box. And what are some of my first impressions? Keep in mind, folks, that we are very new to this game. I've only played 3 games of Vanguard. We actually played one this morning, just went over the same scenario that I filmed yesterday with the wagon train. And we just played a few turns to kind of learn the rules a little more, get used to those factions before we switch to a couple of new factions for tomorrow. So we decided, you know, Julie likes her Trident Realms, and I really am enjoying the Basilians, and I think I actually butchered that in the previous 2 videos. So anyway, but so we'll talk a little bit about Basilian. We'll go to the table, we'll see the models, and talk a little bit about, you know, the different abilities, the stat cards, and everything, and how well I fared with those models. Okay, and I can't really give strategy or anything like that because we're just not very experienced in the game yet. We still have a lot to learn about the game. But I will give you my first impressions on how good these models actually served me on the tabletop. So let's go check that out. The Militant Sisters. Okay, you get a choice to build 2 of these sisters in the box, and I went with 1 regular sister, the sisterhood with the sword, and the veteran sister with the flail. And the differences between the 2, well, the flail sister, she's worth 20 points. Regular sister's worth 11 points. However, the veteran sister will give you an extra red power dice during your power roll at the beginning of the round. She also attacks with a 3d8. The regular sister attacks with a 2d8. Okay, so veteran sister is going to have a slightly better attack value. They're both pretty similar across the board with those exceptions. The veteran sister has 3 wounds. The regular sister has 2 wounds. And that's about it. So not bad for 20 points taking on a veteran sister. I especially like the fact that she will give you this extra red power dice. Remember, this game is it's about resource management, and power points are a powerful resource. All right, and the models are really good. Nice action poses. This is the way I painted them, and they have that sort of crusader look to them. And these are the nuns with blades. Gotta love them. The Panthers. You get 2 of these critters in the starter box, and it's a great addition to the box. They cost 15 points apiece. They hit on 4+. They have the special ability Vicious, which allows you to reroll any ones that you've rolled during a melee attack. They attack with 2d8. So that's not bad. And then they have reactive bite. When this model retaliates in melee, it adds a bonus dice to its roll in addition to any other bonuses that you may have. So great. I love these critters. It's nice that you get them in the starter box. And I mean, come on, they're giant panthers. Everyone needs giant panthers. And now I introduce to you your Chaplain. And yes, he will be your cleric model. He has a mace and a sword, and he's kind of a badass, melee wise, pretty strong for a chaplain. He has melee 4 plus, armor save 4 plus, nerve 4 plus, 3 wounds, and he costs 38 points, so he's a little bit expensive for a spellcaster, but hey, he's a chaplain. He hits with 2d8 in melee, and he even has 1d8 for ranged, and spells in this game, magic spells, are considered ranged attacks. For spells, he has heal, which is a short action, stun, which is another short action, and shield, which he can only cast on himself, and it's another short action. So not bad, and he's a very cool looking cleric. Alright, as far as melee special abilities, he has Crushing Strength 1, which for a cleric is great. He bashes people with the mace. And Defender, also a nasty ability called Parry, which I will describe in just a minute. Overall, a holy badass. Okay, and here is the trio that basically forms the command for the box. And I'm going to go over it. Now, this is my Paladin Defender. I actually made it a female, and yes, it is the body of a chaplain. Long story. Anyway, Paladin Defender, she has a melee of 4 plus, armor save 4 plus, nerve 4 plus, and wounds 2. She also has Crushing Strength 1, which means that the target of her attack in melee will have to roll with a -1 to their armor save. So yeah, that's pretty good. Parry's a nasty little special ability. It forces your opponent to reroll an 8 or 1 dice that caused a hit. So yeah, pretty nasty little ability. She has all that. She is worth 17 points. Sergeant is also worth 17 points. He doesn't hit as good. He has a melee 5 plus, armor save of 5 plus, and a nerve of 4. He also has 2 wounds. You might then wonder, why the hell would I pay for Sergeant when the Defender can actually defend quite well? Well, one of the abilities for the Sergeant that I really liked is Helping Hand. Helping Hand, when this model first activates for the first time in a round, you can roll a dice. If you score a 7 or over, you add 1 power point to your power pool. So again, this faction has a lot of ways of adding power to the power pool, and that's great. And this model also has Evade 1. Defender doesn't have any special abilities like that, the Paladin Defender. And then the Command model, and this dude here, he has the keyword Command. He is worth 30 points. He hits on a 5 plus, armor 5 plus, and nerves 4 plus. He also has 3 wounds. Now, the special thing about him is that he grants you a white dice for power. Also, command models allow you to reroll 1 failed power dice at the beginning of the round. So again, that's excellent. He hits with a 3d8 and probably bashes people with that big banner there. He also has Inspiring, and he has that nasty Parry. Rally on Me is another special ability that your commander will have. Rally on Me 2. 2 is the amount of power that you're going to spend to activate that. And basically what it does is that it takes a little group of models around him that are engaged, and they could all break away from combat without having to roll armor rolls, I'm sorry. And that is great, because anytime you fail an armor roll during a breakaway attempt, you take a wound. So that ability is very, very helpful. Okay, and to sum things up, to summarize things, one important thing is the little faction abilities on a card that you get, and you get a special faction ability, and it covers your all your warband, right? Every faction has one of these. Basilians have what's called Iron Resolve, and then it has a little 2 in parentheses next to it. That's the amount of power that you pay to trigger that ability. And we kept forgetting this, and this is one of the things that would have been very helpful because it kind of adds to that resilience of the Basilians on the table. And basically, when one of your models suffers 1 or more hits, when this ability is triggered, you get to roll your armor saves on a 3+ flat, right? It doesn't matter what other armor, you know, if it's a 4+ on the card, 5+, whatever, you roll on a 3+, and that really increases your chances of blocking that hit. And each model in the warband may only use the ability once a round. So, I mean, there are restrictions to all of these special abilities, but they're very useful, okay? And so that's the Basilian special ability. So that comes in the box, and that's great. You know, it's pretty cool. Now, again, my point with the sisters, you do get an option. If you look at the back of the box, right, you get the option of sister with the sword, sister with the flail. I went with one of each, and everyone goes with, you know, whatever your opinion. Now, for 11 points, if you want to go the cheaper route, then you do the sister with the sword. I mean, she's still decent, you know, stats and everything. But if you do the sister with the flail, the veteran, then you're getting that extra power dice, which power points, I mean, they're an excellent resource in the game. That is the whole resource mechanic, resource management mechanic that you have in Vanguard. And so that's something we're still like learning, when to use power, when not, you know, which abilities to trigger with it. And you can do a bunch of stuff with this whole idea of power points, right? So this sister, with the one with the flail, the veteran sister, she's 16 points, but you're getting an extra dice. So it's giving you a chance to get a few more power points. You know, 1 power point, whatever. It's 1 red dice, I believe. So that's pretty cool. And she has pretty good abilities as a veteran as well. She has 1 more melee dice, you know, when compared to the other sister. So I did 1 of each, spent 16 points on one and 11 points on the other. But, you know, really that's kind of up to you guys, how you want your starter box to play. And with regard to the sergeant, you do need a command model. Command models do give you a reroll when you fail one of your power rolls. So you take that failed dice and you re-roll it. So it's very important to protect your commanders in game, right? And this sergeant is pretty good. The regular sergeant, you get a choice of veteran sergeant or regular. Veteran is the guy with the banner. He's your commander. And then the regular sergeant has the helping hand ability. And that gives you 1 power point on a roll of 7 or over on a D8. Now, yes, 7 or over is not that easy to get, but you still have that chance. So again, Basilia is the kind of faction, my first impression is that it helps you on the whole resource management end. It's resilient, right? It has a lot of special abilities to be hard-hitting and also resilient. So it's not a bad faction. I usually don't play humans, but I'm liking Basilians. And Julie is actually eyeing the Basilians as well. All right, folks, that's enough for today's video. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining me on Vanguard Week. Tomorrow is the 3rd game in Vanguard Week. We're going to try and get 4 games in. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to. I wrap up Vanguard week on Saturday, hopefully with one last game. But if not, we'll have like a faction talk, Julie and I, or myself, okay? And then we'll wrap it up because we are moving to Oathmark next, okay? So, and of course we will be playing Vanguard in the future. Just because I wrap up the week doesn't mean Vanguard is gone. It will be coming back more and more in the future, okay? So thank you, folks, and don't forget, Vanguard Game 3 tomorrow, Northern Alliance versus Night Stalkers. Guess who's going to be Northern Alliance?